This is Task Data Part 3, Task Data Export and Import. We want to be able to export task data from MS Project so that it can be picked up by Excel and used with joins to be associated with logistics held in Excel tables. The first step is to install VBA provided for this purpose from my website into MS Project. The code is in a text file. You can read it to check it for safety before you paste it into Project. You get it from the website from www.softtoyssoftware, all one word, /dbnet/programmingprojects, all one word, /msprojectexport, all one word, .txt. Open the master rollup project, probably named something like projectfilename.mpp with its name containing the string rollup. Using the VBA IDE in MS Project, open your project, VBA project, modules, module 1. If you don't have a module 1, add one to your project. From the IDE Tools menu, References, include the references listed in the text file. Copy the code listed in the text file from the line Option Explicit to the end of the file, which is the end sub at the end of public sub delete task. Please include the copyright notice. Paste the code into Module 1 in your rollup project and save all. When you have tasks in your MPP, run the code from MS Project ribbon View, section Macros, the Macros button, and select Project File Name, ! Report Dates Export, being careful not to select the macro for delete task. When the code is run, a row of Excel data is exported for each task line in the rollup MPP into an Excel file called rollupfilename.xls in the same directory as your rollupfilename.mpp. The file name matches the name of your rollup MPP, but it's an XLS file. The exported fields include name, which is the task names from your Gantt plan, start date, finish date, notes, the content of those fields in the Gantt tasks in your plan, unique ID, a field in the MPP with the unique and unchanging task identifier, rollup task ID, we can ignore this for now, it's another unique task ID that you can control. You can read the code to see how it's handled. And task milestone, a structured key value that you'll enter, used to join the task data with logistics elements in Excel. So let's talk about that field. Task milestone is a column you must name in MS Project, first of all. Here's how to label a column permanently in an MPP file. Using MS Project ribbon Project Custom Fields, select an unused text field. I used a column named Text4, but it could be any one of them. Click the Rename button below it and rename the chosen field to Task Milestone. Back in Project, on Gantt tasks you may want to connect to elements that you use in your plan. In your new column Task Milestone, manually enter text in the format of a structured key. The format is element ID, element rev, schedule task name. For example, Chicago, P0A, assembly. Make sure each of these structured keys is unique. There must be only one Chicago P0A assembly structured key. It helps if you organize a syntax of task names to be used. For hardware, I use material purchase, fab out, SMT, assembly, test, engineering, integration start, all with appropriate abbreviations. There could be more, such as tasks in software branch management or in material purchase. Keeping the meaning of each task name consistent is why I suggest you use discipline to structure your MPP files. Now the exported file contains data and structured keys for every task in your rollup project, and can be used to connect task dates to logistics elements in Excel. The projectfilename.xls file exported from MS Project could be joined directly in a database query with data from other tables. However, before we do that, we'll want to add some calculations to handle purchase lead time, fiscal date calculation, and other things. We'll cover that in an upcoming video course on this channel. After that, the updated table will be joined as a structured table from Excel. To connect the task data, in project filename.xls. That XLS file is imported to Excel using path 3 via Excel data connection or path 4 via Power Query. These were described in the course on PowerOpI structure on this channel. To use the data connection path 3, use Excel ribbon Data, section Get and Transform, Existing Connections, Browse for More, and browse to project filename.xls, select task_table $1, spelled as you see on the slide. Import the data as a table when prompted. To use Power Query path 4, use Excel ribbon Data, section Get and Transform, Get Data, from Workbook, browse to project filename.xls, select a table, and load to a table. Name the imported table in Excel TBL Task Table Access Import for reference by index match expressions. To rename it, use Excel ribbon Table Tools, Design, section Properties, and enter the name into field Table Name there. Add the VBA linking code shown in video PowerOpI Structure Part 4 Database Link Tables in this channel to the tab containing this table, so that the table will be visible in the database. The table can also be added to the relinking table, which will be covered in a later course. You can ignore this until you know what that is. You export from MS Project to update the XLS file with current roll-up MPP data. Then you refresh the table in Excel to import the XLS file data into Excel. I didn't automate this sequence so that you can work on the MPP schedule and import it when it's ready while maintaining integrity of the logistic tables in Excel until the MPP is ready. You'll update the logistics tables in Excel far more often than you update the MPP schedule. Once data exported from MS Project into file project filename.xls has been imported to Excel into TBL Task Table Access Import, it can be selectively retrieved from that table using the structured keys that were entered in field Task Milestone described earlier in this video. As a side note, I'm describing these functions using file and field names from the example shown here, but you would of course use names from your project. Just be consistent with their usage as the example names are used in this example. An index match function that retrieves a task data value as intended is shown on this page. The index match function construction is described in the video named PowerOpI Structure Part 2 Table Calculations contained in playlist PowerOpI Structure, both on this channel. You'll enter it all as one line, although it's torn apart in this figure so we can describe it. In the expression shown here, the task record is selected from TBL Task Table Access Import by the structured key value constructed in the first match @element:, @elementRev:, @milestone name, where the fields named are contained as shown in the example Excel structured table. An example value might be Chicago: CDVT: @engineering, using the field names shown in the table on this page. To create a key that will return a value from TBL Task Table Access Import, the field values should be consistent with all parts of the structured key values entered into the MS Project field Task Milestone. Also, in the expression, the field name of the task data to be returned from the selected record is contained in the second match, in this example, finish_date, consistent with the name of one of the fields exported into the MS Project exported XLS file. Two functions wrap the index match construction shown here. An int function wraps the index match and effectively removes the fractional portion of the date value that would be returned from a valid field value. The fractional value of a date value in Project in Excel specifies the time of day. In many cases, the date value alone is sufficient without time of day. The integer part to the left of the decimal point in a returned value specifies the date, and that's what we're interested in. An if-error function wraps both the int and index match functions. If an error is returned, a value of a string dash is substituted. Some records in TBL task table access import might not have a task with the named milestone date, and an error would be a normal and valid response. So for any error, valid or not, a dash would be displayed in a cell containing this expression, and the developer can determine if it's an expected return or an error to be tracked down and fixed. So in this video, we've covered how to structure an MPP and Gantt plans, how to manage dependency and deliverable links among MPP subprojects, how to assign calendars to tasks in the MPP using a resource pool, how to assign structured keys in an MPP rollup, how to export task data from an MPP using provided VBA, how to import task data into Excel, and how to use index match to select and retrieve task data from data exported from an MPP rollup. The OPI task data sequence continues in OPI Task Data Part 4, Task Data Image Construction. Please subscribe to this channel and like the videos.